Do your knees hurt when you climb stairs? Do you feel stiffness when you bend down, stand up, or even just walk for a few minutes? If so, you are not alone. Millions of adults, especially after the age of 50 or 60, live with knee discomfort every single day. For some it's a dull ache, for others it's a sharp pain that comes with certain movements, but the frustration is always the same. Simple activities like standing, walking, or climbing stairs become harder than they should be. Here's the important truth. You are not doomed to live with knee pain forever, even if you've been told you have arthritis, even if you've had old injuries, even if you've spent years avoiding certain movements because of discomfort. Research shows that with the right type of exercise, you can reduce pain, improve mobility, and regain strength. You don't need fancy equipment, expensive pills, or risky surgery to get started. What you do need is to understand why the problem exists in the first place. Most people think knee pain means the joint itself is damaged or worn out, but the knee is rarely the only culprit. It's just the middle link in a much bigger chain. Above it are the hips. Below it are the ankles and feet. Surrounding it are powerful muscles, your quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and calves. When one part of this chain is weak, tight, or unbalanced, the knee usually ends up paying the price. If your quadriceps are weak, the knee loses its natural shock absorber. Every step puts more force directly on the cartilage and tendons. If your glutes or hamstrings aren't firing properly, the knee often collapses inward or rotates, which creates friction inside the joint. If your ankles are stiff or your hips lack mobility, your body compensates by forcing the knee into awkward positions. And if your posture or walking habits are off, like sitting with poor alignment or stepping heavily without control, the knee gets worn down year after year. That's why pain appears gradually. It starts as mild stiffness, then turns into irritation, and eventually becomes a constant ache. And because most solutions only treat the symptom, like painkillers, braces, or injections, the cycle continues without real change. The answer isn't to push harder, do more squats, or run through the pain. That usually makes things worse. The answer is to retrain your body so the knee no longer takes the full load. This means teaching your muscles to share the work evenly. It means restoring balance between the quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. It means freeing up tight hips and ankles so the knee can move naturally again. And it means practicing exercises that strengthen without grinding down cartilage or inflaming tendons. Think of it this way. You are not just exercising, you are retraining your body to move better. You're teaching your muscles and joints how to work together again. In this video, we'll focus on 2 key exercises that do exactly that. They are simple, safe, and effective. They don't require equipment, and they can be adapted to any fitness level. Whether you're active and just want stronger knees, or you've been limited by pain for years, these movements can help. The reason they work so well is because they're isometric exercises. That means the muscles contract without excessive joint movement. You build strength, but without the impact or repetitive friction that can irritate the knees. Even more importantly, these exercises train your brain and muscles to coordinate again. They bring stability back to the knee, teach you to align your body correctly, and help you regain the confidence to move without fear. The first exercise we'll focus on is the isometric lunge. At first glance, it looks simple. You just step into a lunge position and hold it. But don't be fooled by how basic it looks. When performed correctly, this movement is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen the muscles that protect your knees without grinding or straining the joint. Knee pain is often made worse by exercises that involve too much bending and straightening, like traditional squats or lunges. The constant motion creates pressure inside the joint, especially if your alignment isn't perfect. That's why many people try to train their legs and end up feeling even more discomfort. The isometric lunge solves this problem. Instead of moving up and down, you hold the position steady. That means your muscles, the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, are working hard. But your knee joint itself stays safe because there is very little friction or shifting inside. It's not just about strength. Holding this posture also trains your balance, improves your stability, and teaches your body how to keep the knee aligned. This is called neuromuscular control, basically, retraining your brain and muscles to work together so the joint doesn't collapse inward or wobble. And that is exactly what protects your knees in everyday life. Here's how to perform the isometric lunge safely and effectively. Start by standing tall. Take a step forward as if you're freezing mid-stride. Your front foot should be flat on the ground, knee bent about 90 degrees. Your back foot stays behind you, heel lifted slightly. Now check your posture. Keep your chest upright. Pull your shoulders back gently. Engage your core. Think of tightening your stomach as if you were bracing for a gentle push. Hold this position. Don't bounce, don't move up and down. Just stay steady. Breathe slowly and evenly. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Stay in this position for about 10 to 15 seconds if you're just starting out. As you get stronger, you can gradually hold for 20 or even 30 seconds, then switch sides and repeat. There are a few common mistakes people make when trying this exercise. The first is letting the front knee collapse inward. This places unnecessary stress on the inside of the joint. Always keep the knee pointing forward, lined up with your toes. Another mistake is leaning the chest forward or arching the back. That throws off balance and increases pressure on the knee. Keep your torso tall and steady. And finally, many people put their weight in the wrong place, either too much on the heel or too much on the toes. If you shift back too far, the glutes do all the work and the front of the thigh doesn't activate enough. If you shift forward onto the toes, you overload the patellar tendon at the front of the knee. The safest, strongest position is with your weight centered in the middle of your front foot. If you feel unsteady, place your hand lightly on a wall, chair, or door frame for support. This reduces the load on the joint and allows the muscles to activate without strain. Over time, as your stability improves, you can remove the support. If you're progressing well and want more challenge, you can hold light dumbbells in each hand or simply increase the time you hold the position. Another option is to elevate the back foot slightly on a step, which makes the front leg work harder. But always add these variations gradually. The goal is to strengthen the knee safely, not to push it past its limits. This exercise isn't just training for the sake of training. The benefits carry over directly into real life. Think about climbing stairs, standing up from a chair, or walking up a hill. Each of these movements requires your quadriceps and glutes to work together while keeping the knee stable. If those muscles are weak, or if your knee collapses inward, pain is the result. By practicing the isometric lunge, you're teaching your body to handle these exact positions with better control. You're strengthening the muscles that absorb shock and protect the joint. And you're improving balance and stability, which reduces the risk of missteps or falls. Studies in rehabilitation and sports medicine have shown that isometric exercises like this one are especially useful for people with pain in the front of the knee, and even for those with early osteoarthritis. Because the joint isn't moving under heavy load, there's less irritation, but the muscles still receive a strong activation signal. This combination, low joint stress, high muscle engagement, is the perfect recipe for safe strengthening. It's why physical therapists often use isometric holds as a foundation for knee recovery programs. The isometric lunge is more than just holding a posture. It's a way to teach your body how to move correctly again. It builds strength, stability, and confidence without the risk of pounding your joints. Done consistently, it helps retrain your muscles to share the load, protecting the knee from overload and reducing pain. Now, once you've practiced this exercise and feel comfortable with it, the next step is to move on to the second key movement. It's called the wall sit, and it is another simple but powerful exercise that strengthens the muscles around your knee while keeping the joint safe. At first glance, the wall sit might seem too simple. You just lean against a wall and hold a sitting position. But don't underestimate it. This exercise is a proven way to strengthen all the muscles that protect your knees, and it does so without the repeated bending and pressure that can sometimes make knee pain worse. Traditional squats involve constant movement, bending, straightening, and loading the joint over and over. For healthy knees, that's not a problem. But for knees that are already irritated, arthritic, or unstable, that repeated motion can create friction and inflammation. The wall sit removes the risky part. By holding the position instead of moving up and down, you keep the joint stable while your muscles contract strongly. This type of contraction is called isometric work, and research shows it as one of the safest ways to reactivate weak quadriceps and glutes when you're dealing with pain. The wall sit also gives you control. Because you're not focused on lifting or lowering, you can pay attention to alignment. You can keep your knees in the right position, spread the load evenly across your legs, and focus on good posture. This protects the joint, while still giving the muscles exactly the kind of stimulus they need to get stronger. Here's how to perform a proper wall sit. Stand with your back flat against a wall. Place your feet about 2 feet in front of you. Slowly slide down the wall as if you're sitting onto an invisible chair. Stop when your knees are bent at about a right angle, or whatever angle feels safe and comfortable for you. Check your position. Your knees should be directly above your ankles, not pushed forward over your toes. Your weight should feel centered in your feet, not just in the heels, and not pressing into the toes. Your back should stay gently pressed against the wall. Once you're in position, hold it. Breathe slowly and evenly. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Aim for 20 seconds at first. Over time, increase to 30, 40, or even 60 seconds, depending on your strength. Then push through your heels, stand up slowly, and rest before repeating. There are a few errors you should avoid to make this exercise effective and safe. One mistake is letting the knees slide too far forward over the toes. This shifts too much stress onto the patellar tendon in the front of the knee. Always keep the knees lined up over the ankles. Another common mistake is sliding too far down the wall. If your hips drop below knee level, the pressure on the joint increases significantly. For most people with knee pain, stopping at a comfortable 90-degree angle, or even slightly higher, is best. And finally, some people hold their breath without realizing it. This builds unnecessary tension. Instead, breathe slowly and rhythmically to help your body relax into the position. One of the reasons the wall sit is so effective is that you can adjust it to target different muscles with simple variations. For example, placing a small ball or pillow between your knees and pressing gently will activate the inner thigh muscles, which also help stabilize the knee. On the other hand, if you place a resistance band just above your knees and press outward slightly, you activate the outer hip muscles, especially the gluteus medius, which play a major role in preventing the knees from collapsing inward. These variations add extra support and balance to the joint, making it more stable in real-world movements like walking or climbing stairs. The strength you build in a wall sit directly transfers to everyday tasks. Think about standing for long periods, getting up from a low chair, or walking up a slope. These all require endurance in the quadriceps and glutes, not just quick bursts of strength, but the ability to hold tension over time. The wall sit trains exactly that. By practicing regularly, you improve muscular endurance, balance, and confidence. Your knees feel more secure when moving, and your legs work together instead of leaving one weak area to carry all the load. Rehabilitation research has shown that isometric exercises like the wall sit are particularly effective for reactivating the quadriceps after injuries or surgery. That's because pain often shuts down the brain-to-muscle connection, a phenomenon known as arthrogenic inhibition. By holding the position without moving, you allow the nervous system to re-establish that connection, which leads to better muscle recruitment. At the same time, the glutes and hamstrings are also working, sharing the load and reducing stress on the patella and tibia. Studies also highlight another benefit: endurance. The ability to maintain contraction for 30, 60, or even 90 seconds is much closer to real life than a few quick repetitions. Daily life doesn't always demand heavy lifting, it often demands holding, standing, and supporting. The wall sit prepares you exactly for that. The wall sit is not just leaning on the wall, it's a safe, intelligent way to strengthen the quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and hips without aggravating the knees. It improves alignment, stability, and endurance, all of which are crucial for living without pain. With regular practice, this exercise can restore confidence, reduce discomfort, and make everyday tasks feel easier again. Now, before we wrap up, there's one more important piece of the puzzle: recovery. Strengthening exercises work best when combined with stretching, mobility, and proper rest. You've now learned 2 of the safest and most effective exercises to strengthen your knees, the isometric lunge and the wall sit. But exercises are only part of the story. To get the best results, you need to think about recovery and care. Strengthening is what builds resilience, but recovery is what allows the body to adapt and grow stronger. Without recovery, even the best exercises can lead to frustration or setbacks. After your exercises, it's important to stretch the muscles that often become tight and pull on the knee. The hamstrings at the back of the thigh can become stiff and restrict your knee from fully straightening. This creates extra tension on the joint with every step. Gently stretching the hamstrings after training helps restore balance. The calves, especially the gastrocnemius muscle, also play a role. When tight, they limit ankle mobility, which forces the knee to absorb extra load. A simple calf stretch against a wall, held for 20 to 30 seconds, can make a big difference. Don't forget the quadriceps at the front of the thigh. They are working hard during both the lunge and the wall sit. Stretching them afterward helps reduce muscle tightness and improves blood flow. A classic quad stretch, holding the ankle behind you while standing, is effective. Just make sure to keep the knees close together and your balance steady. By combining strengthening with gentle stretching, you not only build muscle, but also keep the joint moving smoothly. This prevents stiffness and helps you feel lighter and more mobile in daily activities. Another important part of recovery is knowing when to use cold and when to use heat. If your knees feel swollen or irritated after exercise, applying a cold pack for 10 to 15 minutes can calm inflammation and reduce discomfort. This is especially helpful if you notice visible puffiness or if the pain feels sharp. On the other hand, if your muscles feel tight or sore at rest, gentle heat can help relax them. A warm compress, a hot shower, or even a heating pad can increase circulation and ease stiffness. Think of cold as a way to calm irritation and heat as a way to relax tension. Both are useful, it just depends on what your body is telling you. Recovery doesn't mean lying still. In fact, complete rest often makes stiffness worse. Gentle movement acts like oil for your joints. Light activities such as walking slowly, pedaling on a stationary bike without resistance, or doing gentle yoga stretches can all keep circulation flowing. These movements help nourish the cartilage by stimulating the release of synovial fluid, the body's natural joint lubricant. Research on osteoarthritis has shown that light daily activity is more effective for reducing pain and improving function than total rest. So even on days when you're not doing the strengthening exercises, keep your body moving gently. One of the biggest mistakes people make is ignoring their body's signals. There's a difference between the natural burn of a working muscle and the sharp pain of an irritated joint. If you feel mild muscle fatigue during the lunge or wall sit, that's a good sign. It means the muscles are working. But if you feel stabbing pain inside the joint, or if your knees swell after training, that's your body telling you to slow down, adjust or rest. Respect these signals. Progress comes from a balance of challenge and recovery, not from forcing through pain. So here's your plan. Practice the isometric lunge and the wall sit a few times a week. Start small, 10 seconds for the lunge, 20 seconds for the wall sit. Gradually increase the time as you get stronger. After each session, stretch your hamstrings, calves and quadriceps for 20 to 30 seconds each. Use cold if you feel swollen, use heat if you feel tight. And on days off, keep moving with gentle walks or light activity. With consistency, these small steps will add up. The pain will ease, your muscles will strengthen, your balance will improve, and everyday tasks, walking, climbing stairs, getting up from a chair, will feel easier and more natural again. Remember this, you are not broken, and you are not too old to get stronger. Your knees are capable of change, no matter your age or condition. With the right approach, you can restore stability, reduce pain, and move with confidence again. It doesn't take hours of exercise. It doesn't require a gym. Just a few minutes a day with these key movements, done with awareness and consistency, can change how your knees feel and how you move in daily life. So start today. Try the isometric lunge. Practice the wall sit. Stretch, recover, and keep moving. Your knees will thank you, and your future self will thank you even more. And if this video helped you, don't forget to like it, share it with someone who struggles with knee pain, and subscribe for more simple, science-based tips to keep your body strong and healthy. Because life is better when you can move without pain.